Welcome. I am Eric Unfiltered. Here I discuss news, politics, and whatever else I find interesting, along with my very colorful, unfiltered commentary. If you would like to follow me on social media, I am on X at Eric Not Sorry, and on Truth or Facebook at Eric Unfiltered Podcast. I hope you enjoy. Now let's get on with the show. How is everyone doing today? I hope you are doing well. As for me, per usual, I am caffeinated, medicated, and never regulated, so let's freaking go! Boy, oh boy, people are all riled up about illegals getting deported. I laugh. I think it's hilarious. Good. More of this. Yes, I voted for this. People are all crying here in Connecticut because a high school student from Meriden was detained by ICE. Yep. Yeah, and? Are they here illegally? Oh, they are. Okay, bye-bye. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And I sit here and I watch a lot of crap throughout the day, and I laugh. I see people talk about, borders are wrong, man. If you look around the world, there's no borders, man. Oh, really? Oh, really? And people aren't illegal. Oh, really? Why don't you go to some of the countries in Europe and spew that shit? Why don't you go to Poland? I would love for some of you to go to Warsaw, Poland, and start protesting that they don't allow refugees in. Let me know how that works out for you. Oh, and if borders are bad, then why the fuck is the United States, and other countries, but why is the United States then investing hundreds of billions of dollars worth of money, vehicles, rockets, ammunition, and so on and so forth to Ukraine? Well, shouldn't we just go tell President Vladimir Zelensky that, hey, there's no borders. Just let Russia come into Ukraine. And, oh, better yet, let's add this to it. It's okay for Putin to go into Ukraine. Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union. Don't you know how long Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union? They should just give it back. Yeah, that's some of the mental retardation I'm correlating with the idiots talking about California. First of all, fuck California. I feel bad for the citizens, but that place is a shithole, bro. It's a shithole. Although there is beautiful parts of it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, but it's ran like shit. Kind of like Connecticut and Washington and New York and others. But anyways, I hear people crying, California is Mexico. This is Mexico. No, it's not. Not anymore. Quick question, actually, when it comes to California being Mexico. How long was California technically owned by Mexico? Do you have any idea? Because I do. I looked it up, and I'm going to read that. But do you have a guess? I have heard people say that California was Mexico for thousands of years. I've seen people, not prominent people, morons, post, and it could be bots for all I know, but I have seen, air quotes, people posting this on social media like, oh, yeah, California's been Mexico for like 100 years or 1,000 years. And I was like, no, bro. I'll give you a clue. On how long California was technically Mexico. Mexico had that land for the same amount of time that, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, and Kurt Cobain were alive for. Can you guess? Do you know? That's right. 27 years. That's it. Yep. That's it. Yeah. Look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. Do your own due diligence, but let me read this little synopsis I found on the Grok AI search. So, All I did was I typed in, how long did Mexico own California? And it says Mexico owned California from 1821, when it gained independence from Spain, until 1848, when the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo ceded it to the United States after the Mexican-American War. That's a period of 27 years. So Mexico gave it to us, essentially. Okay, so shut the fuck up, you morons, talking about... Now, California is California. It's part of the United States. Now, if you are waving a Mexican flag, you are standing in California, and especially if you are not here legally, that's an invasion, folks. As far as I'm concerned, that is, it may not be a military operation. It's still an invasion. You are here illegally. You are proud to be from another country. You are waving another country's flag, and you're stating that the land you are currently standing on belongs to another country. You could not be farther. You couldn't be more wrong. But that sounds like very insurrection-y to me. Since that's been a word that has been bounced around the last 4 or so years, it actually sounds an awful lot like sedition. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. Look it up. Do your own due diligence. Okay? So, yeah, California is part of the United States, and if you don't like that, tough shit. You know, I understand it's really hard for some individuals out there to understand facts. I understand that, like when it comes to biology books and the difference between boys and girls, I know it gets really, really confusing for some of y'all out there. But, yeah, California is part of the United States, and anybody that is here illegally needs to go bye-bye. If you are not a criminal, you are more than welcome to come back, but do it the proper legal way. Okay, I also have some more information. I actually have another question. I'm going to be reading a speech, and I want y'all to take a guess on who did the speech. So I'm going to go grab my phone. I'm going to look that up, and I will be reading it momentarily. All right, so this morning I was watching the news, barf, and I saw a video snippet from a speech that was made by a United States president, and I was shocked and appalled. I was shocked, I tell you. I'm kidding. But I'm going to make you guess. So I already gave you a hint. It's a United States president that said this speech, and I'm going to read it. It's an excerpt. Again, I've used the AI Grok, and it brought me up a little synopsis here, a little excerpt from a speech. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to read this, and I want you out there to guess who said these words in terrible, terrible fashion. Okay. All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightfully disturbed by the large number of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse our immigration laws, of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it. Does anybody have a guess? Who said that? If you are guessing President Trump, nope, you're wrong. Wasn't President Trump. Oh, that had to have been Reagan, right? Nope. Wasn't Reagan. Hell, I blame him for what's going on in California because Reagan gave amnesty to 1.5 million, 2 million illegals. But anyways, nope, wasn't Reagan. Oh, that's right, President Bush. Which one though? President Herbert, what was it? George H or George W? Which one? Which Bush president said this? Well, you're wrong. No matter which one you guessed, you're wrong. This was a speech by President Bill Clinton, a Democrat, in his 1995 State of the Union address. Sounds awfully Trumpian, doesn't it? It sounds awfully MAGA-ish, right? It was 30 years ago, people. 30 years ago, Bill Clinton. That was his speech. That was his speech. As I've stated in previous episodes, folks, look, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care. Both parties suck out loud. Okay, in my opinion, one more than the other, but they suck. Okay, they don't. They suck. But if you are a Democrat and you were, say, a Democrat 30 years ago, let's say you were 16 or 18 years old, the party that you knew and supported, it's not the same today. Could you imagine if Kamala Harris had won the 2024 presidential election and she went up and said those same words? Could you imagine that? I mean, obviously she wouldn't do that. But could you imagine the backlash today? It would be intense. But no, Bill Clinton said this literally 30 years ago. So yeah, the Democrat Party is not the party you once knew and loved. They are not the party of, laws anymore. It's a free-for-all out there. I'm sorry, but not sorry. That's how it is. The party is trash, ultimately. I'm not saying every political person or every politician on the Democratic side is trash, and I'm not saying everybody who supports the Democratic Party is trash. Absolutely not. But the party as a whole is a fucking dumpster fire. It is. It just is. And I was not a fan of Bill Clinton, even when he was boinking the intern. All of that was fucking embarrassing, in my opinion. But I could not agree with him more in this part of his speech. Absolutely. We are a nation of laws. And what you are seeing out there is generations of people that never heard the word no. They're all spoiled little babies and participation trophy winners that never heard the word no. And now the adults are in charge. At least that's how the slogan is, right? Not my words. I'm just regurgitating shit I've heard. But now we have a president willing to crack down on lawlessness and round up illegals. And I couldn't be happier. Actually, I could be happier if there was more people going. But that's just me. And you could totally disagree with me, and you could think I'm a fucking hate monger, and I don't care. And that's okay. You are entitled to your opinion. That's fine. I totally disagree with you, just like you totally disagree with me. But whatever. We have a president that is simply enforcing the law and has put people in positions and has told them, go do your job. And that's what people are doing. Now, in that speech, Bill Clinton mentioned about the tax burden that the illegals are on our system. And that is so accurate. Every year in many states, let's face it, people are crying and ranting and raving about their taxes. Now here in Connecticut, everybody every year rants and raves about the taxes in Connecticut, and when they get their paycheck, they look at it and go, why the fuck am I spent? Why is Connecticut taking so much freaking money? And guess what? Taxes are going to go up again. Shocker. Now, yes, here in Connecticut, I'm not gonna blame all the illegals for the tax burden and all that shit. They're definitely a problem. I understand that shitty deals were made between the state and unions many years ago, and now we're paying the piper because there's not enough money to cover the retirees and shit. So Connecticut's been ran like shit for, again, generations. But yes, illegals are a burden on the system. If they are working off the books, because they can't legally work on the books, a lot of their money is sent back to wherever they came. But because they're not getting their income taxed every pay period like you and me, they're technically not paying their fair share. I love that. I love that phrase because it actually works in this situation. They're not paying their fair share. Okay, yes, if they get paid cash under the table and they go to the grocery store, yes, they're paying taxes on the food. Or they go to Walmart and they buy T-shirts, or they go to Haagen-Dazs and buy ice cream. Yes, they're paying taxes on that. But what about your paycheck? Look at your paycheck. These people are not paying that kind of money into taxes. So they're not paying their fair share. Aw. And then you look at the education system. They are a drain on the education system. If their parents are not paying taxes, guess who's paying for their child to go to public school? You, me, your neighbors, and eventually your kids. Yes, how fair is that to you? What about medical bills when they go to the hospital and stuff? Who's paying for that? Now, granted, there are people that go to the hospital that are legitimate American citizens and they don't pay their bills, and okay, but they are still a part of the drain. They are still a part of the problem. So the more illegals that get the fuck out, the better. And like I said, they can come back if they have not outside of entering the country illegally or being here illegally or overstaying their welcome. If they have not broken any other laws than that, they're not, drug dealers, they're not gangbangers, they're not murderers and rapists and all that. Okay, get in line, and you are welcome back. You are welcome to come back. You just got to do it the proper way. That's it. I don't understand why that's so confusing. I don't get it. Now, when it comes to the protesters, as I stated in previous episodes, I obviously disagree with the anti-ICE protesters. I will never agree with them. We will never align. But you are entitled to that view, and yes, you have the right to go and protest. Peacefully. Not fiery, but mostly peaceful. You are allowed to go and have your signs and your chants and whatever. That's fine. But the first time a rock is thrown, a store is looted, a fire is set, your argument is moot at that point. For me, it's null and void. That's it. It's done. As soon as a riot starts, fire starts, that's it. Your argument's over. You're done. You're cooked. And I don't want to fucking hear it. Tens of millions of Americans in this country have descendants that came here from a foreign country legally, and they did it the proper way. Whatever hoops they had to run down, and all that, whatever they had to do, they did it. And now you are supporting people who did not do that. You might as well just turn to somebody that has someone, a descendant, their parents, their grandparents, hell, maybe even them themselves. You might as well turn to them, point in their face, and laugh at them. And go, haha, you fucking idiot. You did it right. Your grandparents did it right. You're a fucking moron. That's essentially what you're doing. The hard work that these people's ancestors did, the hard work my ancestors did, what your ancestors did, apparently is it's laughable. It's a joke. It's a joke to these people. Yes. Yeah, no, fuck these people. If you are here in America illegally, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Now, I just want to circle back real quick regarding the high school senior that was detained in Milford, Connecticut. His father was also detained. And of course, there's no details. Surprise, surprise, as to why that happened. Now, as far as I know, his father is in a detention center in Texas. I'm not sure if this high school student is there as well. I don't know. I don't care. If they're here illegally, you gotta go. And then I was reading some blurb. I didn't delve into it, but apparently there was a car wash location in Southington, Connecticut that was raided. I'm not sure, how legit that is, if there were any arrests, but I heard rumors, and all I said was, well, if they are here illegally, then put them in cuffs and put them on the truck and bring them to wherever they need to go home. And then I sit back and I laugh my dick off over so many of these Democrats and pro-illegal aliens when they're like, well, who's going to cut your lawn? Me. Who's going to pick avocados? I don't eat avocados. Who's going to, be your gardener? I don't have a gardener. Well, who's going to manicure your nails? I don't manicure my nails. And the things that you are making reference to sounds an awful lot like you really, really like slave labor. Same Democrat Party, different 100 years later. It's the same. It's the same. To me, that sounds exactly like these people like having low-paying, or not paying legitimate a living wage to someone, and they like slave labor. That's what it boils down to me. That's what I hear. I'm wondering, is that what you're hearing? Because that's what I'm hearing. Before 150 years ago, it was if we free the slaves, who's gonna be picking our cotton? And now in 2025, it's if we get rid of these, I don't want to use the word slaves, but if we get rid of these people, who's going to be picking our grapes? That sounds very, very disgusting. It sounds very similar, and both of them are very disgusting. What the fuck is wrong with you? There was also a video, I think it was from... Oh, shit, was it L.A.? Hold on, I'm going to pause for a quick sec. I'm going to look this up. I don't want to get this one wrong. Okay, I found it. There's a video going around from New York City where anti-ICE protesters are blocking the streets, and there was a white guy and what appears to be a white woman with him blocking the cars from moving. And one of the drivers got out of their car, and it was a black lady basically pleading and begging with them to fucking move so she could get to work. And they were just looking at her, blah, blah, running their stupid mouths. And she's like, what about my kids? I got to feed my kids. I commend that woman. You're a badass mom. Good on you. But this white guy, when she says, I'm trying to get to work, his response was, work. Like, yeah, because you've never had a job, you fucking loser. You either hamana. He is either a trust fund baby, whereas mommy and daddy had loads of money and he's never had to work, or he's just a fucking loser, probably living on his mom's couch or in her basement. What the fuck, dude? If you are blocking traffic... I like what Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has said. Just fucking run them over, essentially. That was not his exact quote. But yeah, if people are fearing for their safety, just fucking go, essentially. Look it up. Don't take my word on it. Look it up. But this poor woman, and she's not alone, obviously, was being barred from going to work because these people are cunts. What happens if there was somebody in desperate need of surgery in the back of an ambulance and now they can't get to the hospital? Oh, wait, they don't care about that because we want, wah, 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 or whatever. It's bullshit. You can protest, you can march, and all of that shit, but once you start getting violent, throwing Molotov cocktails, blocking traffic, nope, fucking round them all up, throw them in fucking jail. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care. So, on that note, I will wrap it up there. If you like this episode, please give it a like, share, the internet crap. And let's see here. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time, hope you liked it. Okay, yep, I think I covered it all. All right, so until next time, keep being you. I just want to do a quick correction. I know I've done this on a previous episode, but and halfway through, I said I wanted to circle back regarding the student that was arrested in Milford. I was wrong. I said it correctly the first time in the beginning of the episode. It was in Meriden, Connecticut. So I just want to do a quick correction because that's what I like to do. So again, thank you for listening and all that good stuff.